You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
What's up, mateys? Welcome to the Mark Lesko Podcast. I'm your host, J-Rod, and this is Pirate Central. We have started the off-season acquisitions. And this is our guy. Will Robertson. Yes, Will Robertson. So it looks like the guy is 27. And from the Toronto and White Sox numbers, that 2025 season. This is what they do, guys. Nothing against Will Robertson, but I just don't get it. I feel bad for the kid. I know the guy's going to come in here and he's going to, try his darndest or, want to make us roster. He's got the roster so far. And yeah, that's it, guys. In the sense, this is what you have to look forward to as a Pittsburgh Pirate. You go and get a guy who has a batting average of 129 in one season. I'm sure the guy only saw about 18 plate appearances, but still, it's maddening. It's crazy. It's just unprecedented that you're about to enter into this season after 6 years of mediocrity from the GM, and we're still not picking up names yet. I know it's only been a couple weeks since the offseason has begun. I know that, we still have the, what do they call that? The owners meeting or the thing they do in December. I know that's still a month and a half away, but still, it's unbelievable, guys. For these players and this organization just to go through another season of just unprecedented, just mishandling, and I don't care, no one cares. How can you not at this point? There has to be a point where anyone who is affiliated has to actually want something to be better. I just don't understand how you can just be so dismissive and just so lackadaisical about this whole system. It's crazy. When you see a player like Paul Skeens in your organization, you have Jared Jones and even Mitch Keller. This pitching rotation is ready to do something, and you need to go and acquire bats to help that. And it, again, just a couple weeks into it, that's what you got. I don't know the career numbers on Will Robertson, but the fact that was his last season, that should not really put a whole lot of stock into it being better. When you think of a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, my first pitch topic is acquisitions, what they're supposed to be versus what the Pirates use them for. These guys just come in just so they can fill roster spots, just so they can say they've got bodies in the uniforms. That's really what it is. They're not trying to be competitive. They're not trying to do anything special. This is the year that you try that. This is the year that you should be wanting that more than anything, because, again, this is our last full season before the lockout happens in 2027. And I figured, what the heck, guys, just go for it. What do you have right now in the World Series? In the playoffs right now, we got Game 7 against the Mariners and the Blue Jays. I'll be talking about that in a minute. But again, if they make it, the Mariners, this would be the first World Series appearance in the history of their organization. They would be the last one to do it. Every single Major League Baseball team would officially make the World Series if the Mariners pull this off tonight. And we haven't seen one since 79. And I believe the Mariners have been a team since the late 60s, early 70s. I can't remember exactly when the Seattle Mariners became a Major League Baseball team. But yeah, to think that these people that were born when this team became a franchise, and now they're seeing it. If you were like 5 or 6 years old going to your very first baseball game in Seattle, you had a chance to see them in the World Series. You would now be in your late 50s, early 60s. I mean, that's really what life's all about. Being a part of something historic, being a part of something that you'll remember for the rest of your life and your family as well. Like the legacy and the story lives on through each generation. That's what's so great about a sport like baseball. It's so rich in history. I mean, again, I can remember my very first live game. I mean, I was a young 25 and the folks and everybody wanted to go and do something. And, you know, we knew that Kutch and them were on the cusp of doing something great. I know they had acquired some players through a trade, and I liked the manager, Clint Hurdle, and it was like, let's go out to Pittsburgh and see our very first PNC game. I don't know if I was a young guy and I saw Three River Stadiums, but I know I can't remember being in Pittsburgh seeing a baseball game. I think maybe my brother and his he had a little league team or something like that, and I think they may have gone to a Three River Stadium game, or someone in my family went. But yeah, that was truly an amazing thing to witness. I know Jeff Locke pitched that day. I think we lost 4-3 or 3-2. It was something like we lost by a run, and McCutchen hit a home run in my very first game there. And of course, that's what I love so much about this generation. We witnessed it absolutely spectacular. And of course, someone asked me why I didn't have my cell phone out to record it. I'm thinking, I was in the moment. I'll always remember that home run, and it was glorious. I mean, Kutch with his dreadlocks just smashing that thing over the left field wall. I mean, it was glorious. It was awesome. I'll always remember those moments. That's something I can share from the next generation on, to know that I was there to see a McCutchen home run in my first game in his prime. And again, I know that feeling about being a part of those historic moments with the playoff run, being a part of the atmosphere in the summertime with great matchups. Again, one of my greatest memories is being at PNC Park in 2015 against the Cardinals. Like the game before the All-Star break, they were down 5-3 in extra innings. They came back and won 6-5. The park, when it rocks and when it's absolutely spectacular, like that's just what it's all about, guys. That's really what it is, to be a part of something so memorable and just such a great moment. You can't beat those times. You just can't. And again, for the Seattle Mariner fans, I'm really pulling for them. But I'll get into that in a sec. But yeah, we're here talking about this just egregious owner and this despicable GM with their lack of effort, desperation, like look for the lowest bottom feeder players and just put them in this team. I mean, again, I don't want to say anything bad about a guy like Will Robinson. I mean, I know how difficult it is for someone to make the major leagues. I mean, it's like a 1 in 125,000 shot. I mean, it's a crazy number, and it takes everything you have to be a major league player. I get it. But that also doesn't mean that these people need to be, a part of this situation. I mean, I don't want guys to have to come in to feel like, well, we're just here to fill up the 40-man roster and not do anything spectacular. It is despicable. I mean, we can talk about that until the cows come home, but it's not going to change anything. But that's what they do, guys. What you're supposed to do is, again, acquire a batter that's about, I mean, if anything, 240, 250. I know, again, batting averages aren't what they used to be because of, the wiping out of steroids and that generation, which I don't care to ever see again. I mean, everyone loves home runs, and I get it, but I didn't like the fact that it was just one big cheat. It's terrible. And I mean, but you watch real baseball, you see guys like batting averages need to be 280, 300. And now I think the average is again around 240, 250. It's just like these guys just don't hit like they used to. And that's all I'm asking. I'm just asking for guys that have just decent batting averages, that know how to get up to the plate and get a hit. Like, that's really what it's all about. But again, that would make them competitive, and that's just not what this organization apparently wants. So we know what we want. We know what they should do, but that's how they want to use these guys. It is just unbelievable, guys, that we are entering this season having to endure like pretty much nothing. Like, again, I know there's a lot of guys in the minors. I know that there's some players that could potentially make their debuts this year, but the fact that they just only want to do in-house is just not enough. It's not even remotely enough. I would like to think that these players that are going to be here soon, they're going to be wonderful to watch and see them grow in this city. And again, the thing about fans is that you want your fan base to root for the players in the uniforms no matter what. But again, when you know the tangent of the organization, what they're basically using these guys for, it's tough. Like, it's really basically you have to root for them, and you don't want to do that. Like, but you have to show support for the players that are there. You have to want good things for what is, you're just trying to do it in spite of all this stuff. Like, just try to your darndest not to let it be the problem. But yeah, it's basically impossible, guys. So that's the big acquisition so far. There's still 6 months left before spring training, or 5. Yeah, so we've got some time. Let's see what else develops. But let's move on into the 7th inning stretch, and I'm going to talk about Game 7 of the ALCS tonight. And here is that matchup. George Kirby versus Shane Bieber, who I had no idea was traded to the Blue Jays. I remember hearing someone talk about the playoffs, and they said Shane Bieber had a nice game last night. I'm like, of the Guardians? He goes, no, they've traded him to the Toronto. I'm like, when? I had no idea. But you look at like the lineups right here. Now, you can't really talk about that particular one. I think that was the 13-4 game. I think it was in Toronto. I can't remember exactly what, but yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup. These are two good right-handed pitchers, good numbers over the season. Yeah, you can't really base it off of just the one games. This is just two guys who are ready to pitch, and they're going to be really good at it. But, if you look at the Toronto lineup against Kirby, Barger, 2 at-bats, has nothing. Clement has 2 at-bats, has 2 hits or out of 4, like he has a 500. Jimenez has 2 at-bats and 2 RBIs, a home run. So, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just being the incredible stud that he is. I mean, having probably the greatest postseason. We've all been waiting for it. I mean, his dad was a big name back in the day, and now he's doing the same thing. Heineman hasn't seen him. Kiner Falefa. Oh, Isaiah. I mean, I'm so happy for you, bud, but I really wish you were still with us. And then Alejandro Kurt, I mean, Luke's, Springer. I mean, I don't know if I heard he got hurt, but I don't know what the severity of the injury. So he may not be in this one. And Varso, is that how you say that last name? I mean, I know the name of, I know this player, but I've never actually pronounced his name before. But yeah, like, it's going to be interesting to see what they do against Kirby. From the looks of it, they have a better chance of getting a hit than not. And then when you flip over to Seattle versus Bieber, I mean, Randy Rose Arena. Is that? Randy Rosarena? Yeah. Trying to make sure I got that. I can't go back. Oh, there it is. Okay. Canzone and Crawford. Yep, I know them. Garber doesn't have a hit on, or doesn't have a bat against the guy. Josh Naylor, Polanco, and Cal Raleigh doesn't have a hit off the Kirby or Bieber. So, I mean, this is going to get interesting for sure. And Robles, yep, and Rivas. Yeah, so Seattle's got their work cut out for them because it doesn't look like they have a whole lot of success against this guy. But we're going to just, again, hope that a team like Seattle makes it in, because it would be a cool story. I mean, to know that they have everybody from the major leagues finally make a World Series appearance. I'm not saying I don't want to root for the Blue Jays either, because I like a lot of the guys in their lineups. But this is really what it's all about, guys. These two teams, both of them have not made the World Series since the ever, and one has not made one since the 90s. So it's one of the two teams that's going to be for the first time in forever, and both fan bases have got to be pumped. It's going to be a great last game. I am rooting for Seattle in this one. I am picking them to win this one. Let's see if they can go all the way with that. But I'm going to close out this, guys, with my talk of the Dodgers dominating the Brewers in the NLCS, and the Dodgers are going to the World Series yet again. And it's just another talking point where it's like, guys, the salary cap is really what it's all about. And a team like the Milwaukee Brewers doing everything right, having the GM they're supposed to have, having the talent they evaluate, and all of this small market things that they try to do to be a competitive team, and it does nothing. It doesn't matter, because the $3 billion franchise that is the, Dodgers is going to win out. The more expensive team is going to be the winner. And that is the point. Unfortunately, that is what you need. You need to have these teams constantly be in the mix, because that it just has to push it in that way for the owners and MLB itself to be like, well, we can't have the Dodgers win the World Series 16 times in a row like the Yankees had. But listen, that's the story too. It's like, the Yankees did all that winning and they still didn't put a salary cap in. They just know that they want these teams to be in the World Series. That's really what it comes down to. Major League only cares about the rich teams that make money and have the big fan bases and have the big ratings. I mean, last year, I think I saw a rating system the year before the Yankees took on the Dodgers. It was the Diamondbacks versus the Rangers. And I think they said that World Series collectively had 8.6 million, which, I mean, is the lowest ratings that a World Series has gotten since, who was that other World Series? Was it the Rays and the Astros, or maybe it was the Dodgers when they won the 2020? I know it was around 2021 or 2020 where they had like a 9 million. Maybe it was the Washington took on Houston. I think that was the one, maybe, where you had just 9 million views. And then last year they said that the World Series saw 15 million, which again, that's almost half what the ratings were before. So this is what the people want. They want to see the big teams in the World Series. And it was a good World Series. I'm not going to knock last year. I think that was a well played. And I mean, it was a spectacle seeing all the big names and all the big stars. Yeah, that's what you want to see. So, but ultimately, what we're talking about, trying to get the Pirates into the World Series or trying to get the Pirates into a competitive team, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But this is really what it has to be, guys. The only way it's going to happen is if the salary cap happens. So 2027, when the lockout happens, by 2028, hopefully this team will actually have a chance. But by 2028, Paul Skeens and Jared Jones and all of them will be gone. And it won't matter at that point. It really won't, because, again, we'll have the ability to go and pay a player and get these guys in. So you're talking about the bigger picture here with the Dodgers going to the World Series, taking on a team, honestly, against a team like Seattle. That would be so unique to know that we have a chance to see a West Coast World Series where every game is going to have to be around 5 or 2 in the afternoon because East Coast needs to see these too. They can't play these games at 10 o'clock or midnight or whatever it is. That'd just be insane. But yeah, it's a interesting situation for the MLB to have to think about where, yeah, it's going to happen. I hope that it does. And when these World Series start, which if I'm right, Game 7 will be tonight, and maybe they start the World Series on Thursday. So by the time I do my episode next week, I'll have at least a couple of games into it to try to talk more as much as I can about it. So hope you guys have enjoyed the episode, and I will see you guys for the next one. And again, hopefully by next week, some better talking point. But until that time, let's go Bucks, guys.